Hey guys, HDvee here, and welcome back to another video going over Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now today's video is actually very interesting because some information has come to light, which means that Game Freak may have lied about why the National Dex is not in Sword and Shield, and that is because of the models of the Pokemon. So we're going to get to the bottom of this today. There's a lot of for and against for this argument, which is why it's blown up so much. So we're going to go over all those points. But if you're excited for the video, be sure to drop a like down below. I really do appreciate it. It really does help out. Leave a comment as well. What do you guys think after watching the video? Do you think they have used the same 3D models from the 3DS, or do you think they've started them all from scratch? And of course, subscribe as well if you're brand new. We do daily Pokemon content on this here channel. With all of that out of the way though, guys, let's get into the video, and I really hope that you guys enjoy. So, starting off, we're on this Reddit page here. I will link this in the description down below so you can take a whole look at it and read through it yourself if you would like. But basically, the start of this is there was an interview with Junichi Masuda about a month ago in Famitsu. I think we actually covered it on the channel. And basically, Masuda said that one of the reasons that the National Dex wasn't possible is because they didn't have enough time to remake all of the models of the Pokemon and put them onto the Switch. So that was basically their excuse. However, though, people have been like cracking the code and taking a look at the models and stuff, and a lot of people now believe that they are just recycling the 3DS models for the Switch, meaning that Junichi Masuda lied to everyone. So, of course, we have no idea yet. It's just a little bit of evidence to suggest that yes, they are using the same 3DS models. So, the article is here if you do want to read it yourself. I mean, it's in Japanese, and then Nintendo's everything coverage and summary. I mean, these will all be, this whole page is getting linked in the description down below anyway, so if you do want to take a look at all of this, 110% suggest you do it. But anyway, the highlights of the article are: with the shift to the Switch, the amount of time needed to make the graphics more beautiful and the animations more lively has increased. Another aspect is the fact that the Pokemon series has reached over 1,000 Pokemon, including form changes. Because of this, apart from the graphics, balancing the new Pokemon with new abilities has become very hard. This is the reason behind the decision this time, and they have judged that it will be hard for all the Pokemon to appear, even in titles going forward. This was a decision that had to be made sooner or later, Masuda said. Even in Pokemon Sun and Moon, bringing in every Pokemon was something barely manageable. With Pokemon Sword and Shield, and they need to redo models, they had to make a decision. So yeah, basically they said because we had to redo all of the models from scratch, that is why we couldn't have the National Dex in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. But then Amori says that despite this, the wild areas and story will have quite a bit of content to make up for it. Regarding whether Pokemon may be added in future updates, this is currently uncertain. Even if not in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Game Freak plans on making those Pokemon shine in future titles going forward via Pokemon Home. They do not want the players' past Pokemon to feel worthless, inspecting the option of reusing Pokemon receiving new graphics through Sword and Shield and titles going forward. With the inclusion of gimmicks like Mega Evolution and Dynamax that affect all Pokemon, this would mean more graphics, production and balancing, so making it happen would be hard. So yeah, they said that the main excuse to why we don't have the National Dex is because they had to redo all the models apparently from scratch, and they also had to Dynamax all of the models as well. Now we don't know if they could just enlarge the model for Dynamaxing or if they had to do that from scratch as well. But that's basically why they said, yeah, we just didn't have enough time to make the National Dex because of all of these new models we had to make. It's not about adding more Pokemon as they receive graphical upgrades, but rather a change towards bringing in Pokemon from Pokemon Home that fit the game. The reason behind the name Pokemon Home is it's a place to return to. Game Freak yeah, so that's not important. So that's basically the article, and everyone was like, obviously it annoyed everyone because everyone didn't get the National Dex and stuff, but you know, the reason I guess was kind of legit. If you did have to make, like, we don't know how big the Pokedex is. I'm gonna guess it's like 650 long, the Pokedex. So if you got to make 650 models from scratch, and then you have to make all the Dynamax models as well, that is going to take a long time. And this game has been in production for about 3 years, I think they said. So yeah, that's kind of their excuse, and you can kind of see where they're coming from. However, though, they may have lied about it. Junichi Masuda may have lied in this interview because they might have just been scaling up the models and stuff like that from the 3DS. So how do we know that? Well, there's this Twitter thread here, which I will link in the description down below. Definitely suggest you take a look at this because it's very interesting. It's from DJ Fed, I think it says. This tweet's unavailable right now, but I'm guessing that it is just saying that something like the reason the National Dex isn't here is because obviously they had to do all redo the models and stuff. So then this person says, I don't buy this. Me and a couple of my friends that I know back from my modding days will look into confirming or deconfirming this once we have access to the game files. We already know models from Let's Go games are the same, and they still look visually the same from the footage we've seen so far from Sword and Shield in terms of the models and most of the animations. We just need to prove or disprove this once the game comes out. It's a bit annoying that the tweets aren't available, but it is what it is. Anyway, this is a video from DJ Fed. Again, I'll link this in the description down below because I definitely recommend you check this out because this definitely opens up a lot of people's eyes about whether the Junichi Masuda has lied or not. So he says, here's a video example showing the Let's Go models compared to the 3DS models. They are 100% the same models as for Sword and Shield comparisons. So this is the Let's Go models. So that's why obviously we know that Let's Go models are the exact same. So obviously a lot of people think they're going to implement the Let's Go models into Sword and Shield to save time for the Kanto models, but that just means that they've just taken them from Sword and Shield. So basically, I'm not going to play the video because it's his content, but I definitely suggest you go watch the video because it definitely you just go watch it, man, because it's definitely it just helps support the fact that they're doing this. Anyway, it says, I know this isn't proof because obviously that's just Let's Go. That's not the Sword and Shield model. That's the Let's Go model. So it says, I know that isn't proof, but it's at least some supporting evidence that the models are at least not significantly different from before. Sword and Shield on the left, 3DS on the right. Once the game comes out, I intend to get to the bottom of this by comparing the raw 3D models. So this is Sword and Shield, and then this is 3DS. So the models do look very, very similar. I don't know why the leg goes out like that. I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't look great. Oh, I think that's just the fur, to be fair. But yeah, as you can see, they do look relatively similar. To be fair, I mean, that's just from first glance. Like, they don't look different. I mean, I know you're not going to change the design of Arcanine at all, but you know, they do have, like, you can see there the similar things. So then this person says, okay, also I don't know, but yeah, I guess a picture of Lucario, and then this person says, even Lucario's ears imperfections are present. How can anyone believe those models are remade from scratch? So this is quite an interesting image because this is the Sword and Shield model, and then this is the 3DS model. So obviously you can see the textures are different, which obviously they're gonna have to change anyway because of the lighting and stuff. But at the same time, like, the basic 3D model, you can kind of see looks exactly the same. Now, of course, this, again, they probably would have designed Lucario relatively the same, like with his attack animations and stuff like that. But did they just take all the 3DS models and, you know, make them bigger? The only differences I can find are related to the camera angle and the fact that the Switch model is passed while the 3DS model is in a T-pose. Again, I'm aware that this isn't 100% proof, which is why I only say it's supporting evidence. I intend to find out what is actually the case once the games come out to do comparisons. But right now, it's not really possible to confirm if they are the same models or not, because we just simply don't have the models from the Sword and Shield. So obviously this person's going to get to the bottom of it as soon as those models come out. But all I'm saying is if they have reuse the same models, then basically Game Freak lied to us, and there's a bigger reason as to why we don't have the national decks. Because if they've come out and said, yeah, we have to remake all the models and all the Dynamax models, which is why we're not getting the national decks, and then it turns out they've just scaled them all into Switch models, they obviously lied about it. So we do want to know the actual reason as to why the national decks is not in Pokemon Sword and Shield. But yeah, the texture looks different, obviously we know that. But different textures and lighting have no correlation to making a model from scratch, which is true. Yeah, like this right here is quite a big reason. So then this came back. So it says update. Holy Arceus just blew up. Really didn't think this would reach so many people, to thousands of Twitter retweets and even a Polygon article. The best way to explain all the questions is with a full explanation. Obviously, everything stated in the article is not my own words, so let's focus on the intro paragraph of my own. The whole reason I researched this topic in the first place was due to listening to an episode of comicbook.com's Pokemon podcast, episode 10, around the 40-minute mark, about a Japanese magazine interview. Most of the information from my paragraphs was lifted from including the mention of frame rates and quality, the line about starting from scratch, and about Dynamax models. Also, Game Freak has gone on record that they have two development teams, Team A and Team B. Team A is Town, B is Pokemon. Obviously, no one really knows that this is true until we have the game in our hands and search the game files. When they switched over from the 3DS to Nintendo Switch, the frame rates and quality were both different. In this article, they revealed that when they went to transfer models and move animations into Sword and Shield, they didn't transfer overwrite, forcing them to rebuild them by scratch. Keep in mind, Game Freak only has 143 employees, only half of which are working on Pokemon, the other half on Town. So basically, while the same animations of the Pokemon themselves are copied and pasted, most, if not all, Pokemon models had to be redone. On top of that issue, Dynamaxing forces Game Freak to produce extra models for each and every Pokemon, because you can't just take the same model and increase its size by 10 and expect it to look half decent. I seriously wish that Game Freak had repeated this information in their response. So yeah, like, what do you guys, of course, there's both sides to the argument. What do you think? I'm really torn. I don't know. I hope that Game Freak haven't lied, because that would be annoying. But why would they lie? Why couldn't they just tell us the truth? Like, if the truth is simply they don't have enough people working on Pokemon anymore because they have more interest in town or more interest in mobile, why couldn't they just come out and say that? Because then at least people wouldn't be attacking Masuda and stuff. Maybe he's been made to say that, I don't know. But I guess we'll know when the models finally do come out. But I definitely suggest you watch this video, because it's very interesting about like the 3DS models and the Let's Go models. But yeah, then this is obviously the Sword and Shield one, so we don't know if the models are the same or not. We'll have to see. But I think if they're using the models from Let's Go, which they most likely are going to, and they have all just been scaled from the 3DS, because we have clear evidence that they have been, it means that they're not gonna really use scaled 3DS models and then start loads from scratch, because it would look weird. So I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. That's going to be everything from this video though, guys. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Like I say, definitely check this out, this whole Reddit post, and then definitely check this guy out on Twitter as well. I'll link both in the description. Watch this video if you do want to know more about the information and stuff. Definitely suggest it. That's going to be everything from this video though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe as well, turn on notifications. That's everything from me. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I'm just repeating myself. See you next time, guys. Peace.